Good evening. You're watching Point Blank here at KTN News. Had Adolf Hitler not opened the second front, had the army of Hitler never invaded Russia, the Second World War would be a different war. William Kabogo, and I want to move on beyond the Ruto issue, that clearly Kenyatta and Ruto are not reading from the same script. If I go higher than that issue, and we finished that in the last segment, Kenyatta and Odinga are in a partnership, the handshake.
The handshake, yes.
And last week, Kenyatta received McDonald Mariga.
The candidate for KIBRA, Jubilee candidate for KIBRA.
And I was not happy. I communicated to Kenyatta. And I don't want to go beyond that communication, but let me say, is there a danger that that event or Kenyatta entering KIBRA politics can destroy not just the handshake, but the spirit of the handshake?
The spirit of the handshake is to unify Kenya so that, from what they say, so that we have peace every other time in the country, even during elections. And then they go ahead and say, we will not discuss 2022, meaning we will not discuss elections. So if, for example, Uhuru now goes to KIBRA to do campaigns, Mheshimiwa Raila goes to KIBRA to do campaigns, then the story of handshake will change, because surely they needed time to build the bridges. But now in KIBRA, the story will be different. Sisi sera zetu ni hizi kama ODM. Sisi sera zetu ni hizi kama Jubilee. Wale ambao Jubilee pande ile shida yao ni hii. We'll go back to the same thing. So when I saw that Mariga thing in State House, I thought to myself, is this the end of the handshake? And it could be. And my advice to both the national leaders, Uhuru Kenyatta, our beloved president, and Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga, let the Tujus deal with KIBRA. Show the country that Jubilee can campaign, ODM can campaign on Sera issues.
So Odinga atume Joho.
Atume wale atatuma.
Na Kenyatta atume
na yeye atume wale, hata sio yeye, chama itume, kwa sababu ni chama.
So Kabogo, what are you
this
saying?
Is the time that
are you saying that Odinga and Kenyatta must keep off KIBRA?
If they keep off, it will show that really the handshake is what it is. Lakini sahi wakienda hapo na kuanza kutupiana maneno, tutarudi pale pale tu. And the handshake, I believe, it is not about Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga as two people.
So Odinga
the handshake is about the nation.
So even Odinga himself, even if Kenyatta doesn't go, should not go.
He should not
because
go.
Whether he wins or loses KIBRA, there's something bigger.
Correct.
There's
the
something
nation
bigger.
is bigger than the two. Otherwise, takuwa sasa hapa wametufichia kare. Kumbe sio handshake, kumbe sio unifying the nation, kumbe ni maneno ya tu ya kutuliza ball. You know, and I said, kama mnatuliza ball na Kenya itakuwa sawa. Be serious about this thing. Kwa hivyo Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta awachane na KIBRA. He is beyond KIBRA.
The handlers of the president were telling friends of yours and mine.
Yes.
Na sijui kama utatoboa hapa, unajua wewe ni mtu unatoka chama hii, you don't mind, you run.
I say always without a party.
Yeah, sasa wewe unajua.
Nikiingia kwa party lazima nipate shida.
Sasa wewe unajua tuko na common friends.
Yes.
Na watu wanasema Uhuru alikuwa ambushed na hii timu ya Mariga. I mean, how
lakini kwa nini yeye akubali kuwa ambushed? He's the head of state, boss. Au sio?
Sasa you have advised Uhuru before.
You know he's a nice guy. Let me tell you his problem. He's a nice guy. That's the problem.
Now I'm asking you because last time you intervened,
yes,
wakati ya MOU. Yeah. Sasa anakuona huyu Uhuru. Sasa mwambie hii mambo.
Si nimesema wachana na hii maneno ya party tu. Wacha Mheshimiwa Tuju na wengine wakapigania wakauze sera za Jubilee pale. Show the country that this thing can be done the way it's done in the first world.
Turudi hapa Kiambu, hapa karibu, hapa nyumbani. Sasa kutoka ukue governor, wewe ulisema prediction. Watu watalia. Ulisema nini?
You know, when I was handing over, I told His Excellency Waititu, there are two very important hashtags. One is necessary even today. Hashtag tujenge Kiambu pamoja. I am willing to help you where you want. I am willing to participate to make Kiambu a better place. even if I am not in office. The other hashtag, it is you who will make it necessary or important, and that is hashtag Kaba Kabogo, Afadhali Kabogo. So it is you, your deeds, the things that you will do. And my predictions are always right.
Let me remove my...
Do you remember I told Mheshimiwa Ruto, we will not give you this seat by just telling you.
You know,
and you know I was fought.
I have to ask you, you know my mother is a resident.
Of KIAMBU, yes, I know where.
You know where?
Yes.
Are we better off? I mean, in terms of finances, the debt situation of the county worries me.
You know, Tony, I hardly speak KIAMBU. For one thing, because always when you speak, people would think you're a jilted lover. Yeah. But I would say KIAMBU is in a pathetic situation. You can see them saying there is no medicine, there is no this, there is no that. Hospitals are dilapidated. The things that we left in place, if we were to go back today, Tony, I'll tell you, point blank, in 6 or 7 years, we will not manage to take it back where we left it.
It's worrying to me, the debt levels and the money. Can we talk a bit about the money management?
You know, Tony, when we came in, the various municipal councils, 2012, 2013, collected a total of about 720 million. And the first thing we did when we went in was to make sure that we sealed all loopholes of revenue leakage, because we knew there was a potential. And the little money that comes from Treasury, 8.5 billion, with a wage bill of 70% of that money, there was very little money left for development. And we managed, in record time, 14 months, to raise our revenues from 700 million to 2.7 billion. Now I've seen last year they collected about 800. Where has 1.9 billion gone to? Where has that money gone to? How much would you do with 1.9 billion in 2 years?
Would you say, in terms of numbers, KIAMBU is obviously the biggest, one of the biggest in terms of numbers of population. Are you satisfied with the revenue so far that a governor has available in the national?
You remember when I was in office and we were discussing the revenue sharing formula, I did say that utumishi kwa wote ni watu. Utumishi kwa wote is people. Revenue must be shared in terms of population, Tony. But this revenue formula here, it gives only 45% to population. The rest is geographical size, semi-arid or arid, you know, all those other parameters, including poverty. But it is about people. No. KIAMBU gets 8 billion, while Turkana gets 14 billion. Tony, really? The salaries in Turkana, probably 300-400 million. When we have salaries of about 6 billion.
Well, why I'm asking you about the money and the development, there was a very bad incident when 4 cabinet secretaries from Central were accused of murder allegations because they were talking development. And my worry is that there is this feeling in Central Kenya.
Tony, there are some of these things we really don't even need to mention. But why would 4 cabinet members go and discuss murder, surely?
Because you see, Governor, the idea that Mount Kenya...
Did you just say what Steve Biko said?
Yes.
That the potent weapon of a terror...
The oppressor.
Yes, the oppressor is a terror.
Yes.
It's the mind of the oppressed.
Yes.
So this, whoever came up with those allegations,
because there's this agenda,
it's just being silly.
Because, Governor, there's an agenda that Central Kenya cannot sit down for development. And I know...
But other places can.
And you know those cabinet secretaries.
Yes.
You know Kobia. I mean, you know Musheru. I mean,
yes.
What do you think about... I mean, I just... Was it wrong for Lamada meetings?
It is the fear of central people coming together that sends worries to people. And I'm saying we have no apologies to make. We are who we are. Right now we are divided, and they will continue dividing us until half the vote will go one side and the other half will go elsewhere.
So are you in support?
And if we do not sit together as Central Kenya, we will have a big problem in the next coming 15 years.
Now, for the development agenda,
yes,
that those Lamada meetings were made, Yugunjiri Mbogo was here,
yes,
and he was saying that there was actually a need of raising some developmental issues, and they divided
when they form regional blocks.
Exactly.
Who makes noise?
So the question is, how, so those cabinet secretaries were scared of by these so-called allegations.
You know, when you don't speak, Tony, and you are alleged to have done something, then people assume you are not speaking because there is some truth on what you are planning. Were they planning something against the DP? I would hate to imagine.
Yes.
Because how stupid would you be
Yes.
to go into a hotel room, you're being served, and then you start discussing murder?
So,
And anyway, where did that story go
so
to?
point blank, should the Central Region shy away from
No, they
talking
should
development?
not. We have no apologies to make.
So
I'm actually saying
yes.
we give more money to the Republic
Yes.
than Turkana.
Kwa sababu
We
Kabogo-
give more money than
Kabogo,
than
let me
Mombasa.
tell you, you know my son is here.
Yes.
And you know, he's a mentor, you are a mentor to him. And Lisa, who are the president's supporters? If Kabogo is quiet, because what is the problem? The question is, if people are talking development, and then Kabogo is quiet.
You know, Tony, me, I don't support. Listen,
Well,
I don't support blindly. I don't support you because you are a Kikuyu. I will support you because I believe in your policies. And if you go wrong, I will tell you, Tony, hapa umeanguka.
Lakini Kiambu ni nyumbani kwa Mheshimiwa Rais.
Imeanguka mbaya.
Kiambu is a home.
Yes.
What is the voice of Kiambu in terms of development? I'm asking in the sense.
They're asking for more.
And that is
Yes.
what these meetings of Labada
Yes.
were. So me
I
nakuuliza
was not
wewe
in
point
Labada,
blank. No,
but I'm saying they're asking for more.
So is it wrong?
I'm asking on their behalf
so
now.
is it, that's what I'm asking
Yes.
you point blank.
I'm saying
Yes.
give us money in accordance with our population. Don't look at the geographical size of Kiambu and give us money on the basis of the area. That way, you will give more money to Turkana than you give into Kiambu.
So can you tell the DP or his troops what you think about his interference with the agenda of economic liberation of Central?
I'm saying Central will be liberated, whether he likes it or he doesn't. No matter how much noise they make. You know, you can't come to Central and tell us that we do not deserve this or that because we hold the presidency. We don't even need the presidency. We need an environment, Tony, that allows our people to do business, that allows our people to make wealth.
Kabogo, I want to come to the issue of women.
Yes.
And one of the reasons I personally care much about the BBI is because I think that 50% of the population has been left out of governance. And role models, girl child, they need good role models. To what extent do you think?
You know, Tony, I share a very different view on the issue of gender balance. I don't mind 50% on employment. We can have a policy of government, employ 50% women, 50% men. Consider persons with disability, consider all those things, youth. But on elective politics, why do you want to select seats for election? It has never happened anywhere in the world anyway, Tony. If you are going to merge, if you're going to have a two-third rule in parliament, we're going to have 600 MPs, surely.
This is very interesting.
Huh?
So in terms of their, even if the executive...
Elective positions, leave it to elections. But employment of public servants, give 50-50, not one-third, 50-50.
Mheshimiwa, wanawake wa Kiambu watakufika.
Hakuna, unajua wanawake, mimi nimewaweka si umesikia pendekezo langu ni kuajiri wa mama na waajiri na ajira ya wanaume iwe sabamba, 50-50. I have proposed that. I'm also saying even in private companies, if we can do a law, let's do a law. In my own cabinet, out of 8, 6 were women, professional women. We advertised, they applied, and they were better. So, but on elective politics,
yes, affirmative action.
You know, yes. Let me tell you, Tony, yes. I'm told that we have more women voters than men. Yes. Participation of women is higher in voting than men.
Yes.
So women vote for men. Why do you then want to go and create other seats for them, Tony? Why do you want to make Bunge another market? Well, you understand? If it is election, Tony, let it be election. Lakini ajira, nusu kwa nusu. I'm not saying one-third, nusu kwa nusu.
Haya, tuingie ili tuwache mambo ya Kiambu. I want to ask you this.
Yes.
NGUGI
yes.
made a landmark ruling that has made Kiambu the focus of the country.
Yes.
In terms of a sitting governor can stand aside or be ordered to stand aside. And
there are two things, Tony, to this coin. Two sides of a coin. A good ruling. If truly, prima facie, there is evidence of a case, you should step aside so that you're investigated while not interfering. But this, Tony, we must be very careful here. People might settle political scores by saying so-and-so ameiba. Kwa hivyo step aside. If you want to deal with somebody and you can make a call to DPP and say, this guy should be arrested, we must make sure that we do not victimize people.
Mutula Kilonzo Jr. was at point blank,
yes.
and he was telling me we need a time limit, like in presidential petitions.
Correct.
That if a governor is, for example, to a case,
yes.
should be 90 days or something concluded.
You see the way the guy who changed Apaka here in Nakuru, he was taken to court on Monday, and he was sentenced on Thursday. So if surely a governor has stolen, it does not require 2 years.
So
you take him to court, continuously run it every day.
Would you support stepping aside if there is a time limit?
Yes, I would support it.
A reasonable?
Yes.
A reasonable time?
Yes, I would say 90 days your case should be settled.
Let me ask you then, if that is the case, is this issue of corruption, we need to get into it. I've been following your Twitter handle in research of this show and generally, and you seem very angry.
The biggest problem this country has is not Big Four, is corruption. When the Auditor General of the Republic tells us that we lost 900 billion, Tony, 900 billion, what would be the opportunity cost of 900 billion? Let me tell you what is the size of 900 billion. 900 divided by the population of Kenya is 20,000 shillings per person. That's the money we lose. That is the money that we require in our hospitals. That is enough to pay our loans for 2 years. And that money is going into people's pockets.
This is a Mheshimiwa.
You remember sometime Mheshimiwa President said they will start something called lifestyle audit. And he said it will start with him. It will go to his deputy and you, Joho. You remember that? He was in Mombasa. What happened to that lifestyle audit? Because we have people who have never stepped Karen. They've never been to Runda all their lives. But he's been in office for 3 days and he has a home in Runda. You understand what I'm saying? You cannot come and ask me why I live where I live. That's where I lived before.
When I'm flying to Diani, I sometimes use Wilson Airport.
Yes.
Kaboko, the choppers.
Yes.
It's like a motor. What do you
Where are they coming from?
Nikama show.
And you know, it is so easy to trace. A chopper is not a Toyota 100. You read the manufacturer, you find the point of sale, find out who paid for it. You understand? You tell us that you have money, your companies are making so much money. But the last years before you became someone, a governor or something, your companies never made money. What is this business acumen that you learned when you became a governor? So
Kenyatta hailing from KIAMBU, yes. Now the president is accused by those who have been arrested that it's a tribal war, that somehow
Chief, you know,
corruption
sometimes some of these things are ridiculous. Let me tell you why. I think they're ridiculous, kabisa. When other tribes were arrested a couple of months ago, there was a lot of cry there, mnatumalizia watu yetu. But recently, Kariuki, you know Green Corner?
Yes.
Dalbit,
Humphrey,
he was arrested.
Yes.
Sindio?
Yes.
Keroshe. How come Central people are not saying watu wetu? What is this thing about, other tribes? Is it that nani anaiba anapelekea Kenya? Ukishikwa ni wewe peke yako. This war of corruption is not only ministries and those things, even in Akinaki notice offices.
Yes.
If you want to help a suspect, you take a dubious case to court. Take funny evidence there, they will be released. You cannot tell Maraga, we have done our bit, do your bit and jail them.
But
you are not supposed to jail.
But would you agree there's a momentum?
There's a momentum, but there is no finishing, Tony. You need to finish. Lazima aguze ile kamba ya 100 meters finishing. Now finishing, it is to convict. So that if you are jailed and you have this money and it is returned, it will never be stolen again.
Now, if that is the case, there was this issue of asset recovery. Kabogo kuna kitu inanisumbua sana. All these corruption cases, they come from China or Japan or I don't know where. In the dam case, Italy, where money comes conditional. Lazima uchukue contractor wa Italy. Lazima uchukue, ikikuja kama ni China, inakuja wewe uchukue Chinese. Sasa, it is not just local corruption. This looks like it is budgeted corruption.
Yes. There are some countries, Tony, that have, they have legalized the issue of commission. And I heard someone say the other day, I am a commission agent. There are nations that allow But I will tell you, Kenya is the most expensive place to do tarmac. 1 kilometer, 80 million shillings.
What?
Canada, 62 million shillings. But here in Kenya, it is 80 because of kickbacks. Kickbacks are everywhere.
And they are tied internationally.
Yes, they are tied in the islands. That's why you see them taking private jets. But let me tell you, boss, if Chief, I am the czar of anti-corruption in Kenya, they will stop in 2 days. Because they know something serious is going to happen, Tony. It will happen. Na hawa wakifungwa, wawili, it will stop this business. How do you tell us that money was paid, 21 billion, to do a dam, Tony, and there is nothing done on the ground? What? It's only in Kenya. It's only in Kenya. And that makes me sick. That's why I'm so bitter.
Yes.
And you know.
Now Uhuru cancels it and Murkomen goes on Twitter.
Yes.
Kipchumba Murkomen goes on Twitter.
And he
says no, there were only Kikuyus in the. I mean, this is so outright. I'm fed up.
Give me this job pro bono, no pay.
Was the president right to cancel the dam?
Yes, of course.
Kipchumba
The next thing we should hear. The next thing we should hear. Listen, Tony.
It was a tribal
decision.
decision.
The next thing we should hear is that those bank guarantees that were there for the lost money, we have recovered that money. If they want a dam in Kemorel, there is a way of doing it.
Mheshimiwa, I'm asking you point blank. Wewe umesoma Twitter ya Murkomen.
Nimeona.
Amesema Uhuru aliweka wa Kikuyu.
Wewe wakati nimeona hiyo, nimefikiri yeye ni mwenda. Because hakuna dam. Unataka iendelee for what reason?
The majority leader of Jubilee in Senate is accusing the president
you know, that's why I say
of cancelling.
Sometimes I say Mheshimiwa Kenyatta is very soft. Ndugu, during Moi's time, you would never have done that. I'm not saying Uhuru should be a dictator, but I'm saying surely he is the leader of government business, government. And the dams were being done by government. I'm asking
you as a leader of Mount Kenya in Kiambu and a former governor. And I'm also asking you as a person respected in this country.
Yes.
And I'm asking you point blank.
Yes.
Can it be in order for the majority leader of the Senate
I've said no,
to tweet and accuse the president, his president?
It's insubordination. It is. How do you go and speak against you and say he has been misadvised? Did he call him? What is this nonsense?
He said
honestly?
There was no regional balance in the committee that advised the president.
He wanted his brother to be in the committee.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying it is stupid of him to think that way. He is not thinking like a national leader. He's not thinking like the leader of government business. Government is headed by the president and the deputy. That is government. Executive, parliament. There are many channels of speaking. But he is going to tell the president on Twitter, like Trump does, Tony, that you have been misadvised because you picked Kikuyus. When will we stop thinking as Kikuyus? When will we stop thinking as Jaluos? When will we become a nation, Kenyans? Is it wrong for how many Kikuyus are in this country? Well, you want for every position you have a tribe. Should your interview be done in your language? Tony, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Who is this who reminds us always?
President Kenyatta was deputy from Rift Valley.
Do you want us to start thinking about how many times we've been oppressed by other tribes? It doesn't help.
So these wounds are beginning to recur.
They are recurring. And who are the people who are bringing these things up? So you want to tell me? You know, I wanted to ask.
Can you see?
I wanted to ask Murkomen, and I will find him.
It started with a murder accusation of 4 cabinet secretaries.
Yes.
Now it's the president.
Yes.
That he has set a committee of tribal operatives.
Yes.
To shut it down. Kabogo, and you are here.
I want to ask Murkomen, have you gone to the dam site? It is in your county. Have you seen 1 spoon of sand removed because of a dam? Are you aware 7 or 21? You call it 7 because it benefits him thinking that way.
Kabogo, how long will Mount Kenya leaders remain quiet when the president is everyday attacks of this level? You know, I'm asking you.
You know, we are not defending him because
I'm not saying that.
Because he's a Kikuyu.
No, but they are saying
I'm saying it is stupid of him. You know, this is a professional language, yes. Stupid of him to even imagine of tweeting that way. The next thing he'll say, it is wrong for the president to go to his house because he's a Kikuyu. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, who can say it more than William Kabogo?
But really, do I care if I'm a Kikuyu, Tony? I am a Kikuyu. Mimi ni Mkikuyu. It's not I didn't apply to be born in Roiro. You understand? But well, I stopped thinking like Roiro.
I have to stop him. You're watching KTN News.
You know.